Hello, urban mobility enthusiasts. Welcome to our first EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator pitch show, the official closing of Accelerator program Batch 2. My name is Isabel Martinez and I will be moderating this show from the very sunny Barcelona, Spain. From here, we will have live connections with our 5 hubs located in Copenhagen, Denmark, Munich, Germany, Helmond, the Netherlands, Prague, Czech Republic and in Barcelona, Spain. We will also have live connections with our colleague Karolina Kramkova from Power Hub, who is right now in Prague. Karolina, welcome.
Thank you, Jezebel, and hello from Prague. It's a pleasure for me and Power Hub, Research Organization and Transfer Technology Hub to be here and to guide you through this epic innovative event, which EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator Pitch Award really is. We are proud to co-host this event, which assembles cities, industry players, investors, and of course, innovative startups.
Indeed, it is a huge pleasure to have you on board of this first edition of the EIT Urban Mobility Pitch Awards, which will be the silver lining for the Batch 2 of our Accelerator program. For those of you who are not familiar with this program yet, the EIT Urban Mobility Business Creation Accelerator program is an EU-funded program in 5 European regional hubs implemented through partners and to take early-stage mobility startups to the next level.
If you are a startup within the urban mobility field, what EIT Urban Mobility can bring to you is the whole of the European market.
Through this program, we provide support to early-stage startup teams with business ideas that reduce congestion and increase efficiency in the transport system. As you can imagine, all this work can't be done without the huge support of our partners, who are our hands in every city and country covered by this program. Therefore, a huge thank you to you all.
That's right, Jezebel. The backbone of the program lies within 5 innovation hubs, which are spread across Europe. The hub members are most often key industry players, accelerators, incubators, R&D centers, or other innovation subjects, which delivered the program to support startups to thrive even in these crisis times. So we would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for your great job this year. There are also the commercial partners which supported this special event. So we would like to thank to Startup World Cup and Summit and Avast, which donated great prizes for the winners. For example, tickets to the Startup World Cup and Summit, media coverage, office in Prague, and cybersecurity software packages. And that there is a lot of to looking forward, you will see right now.
It's a good environment for learning, both the speakers' opportunities and then the networking around it.
They've built this into a European summit, not just a regional competition.
Everybody's really curious and everybody wants to make a difference.
You learn a lot from the mistakes that other people have made, and that's one of the reasons that I'm here, is to help contribute to my experience and the things I've done well and the things that I've learned from would help entrepreneurs.
pretty much find what you are looking for under one roof.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mimley.
Last but not least, we would like to thank the Striven platform where we gathered today, and ES Production, which designed and created this wonderful space. Thank you. And I would like to encourage you, our audience, to meet our Accelerator startups in the workshop area and get some new interesting connections in the networking area.
So indeed, as we just said, thanks a lot for the good work you've been doing with the 25 startups enrolled in the batch 2 of this program. These 25 startups have received our support in different ways: mentorship, city dating and industry matchmaking events, and many more other activities over the last 6 months. As part of these activities, startups have gone through a voting process, and you, yes, you, who are behind the screen, have decided 5 out of the 10 finalists that will compete here today. The other 5 finalists to reach the 10 pitchers of today's show have been decided based on the mutual decision of each hub. And today, we will know who the winners are. But first, let's meet the 10 finalists. With no more delay, it's now time to do the official opening of this event with the Director of EIT Urban Mobility Business Creation, Frederick Hannell. Frederick, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jezabel. So it's really exciting to be here, and I'm very, very thrilled to see the pitches and also, of course, to see who finally comes through. So a little bit about EIT Urban Mobility and the support that we provide to startups, to give you a background. So, of course, every year we run accelerator programs with 50 startups. We also run a Scale Up Hub and Go Global program that targets the scale-ups. And more than that, we focus a lot on actually the funding part. And we do invest in startups going forward. Examples of that are the 14 investments that we've made so far. So this year, we will be supporting up to 94 startups. And as you maybe understand, the admission to batch 2 was actually extremely competitive. So only 1 out of 10 was actually admitted to the programs. It was also equally distributed between the different regions. 1/3 of all the applicants were actually offering mobility services, and half of them were B2B kind of solutions. I think you need to remember as well that the startups that we usually work with address one of the 5 city challenges that the cities have expressed and asked us to address with our innovation programs. So the first one is active mobility, the second is sustainable city logistics, the third is creating public realm, the fourth is future mobility, and the fifth is mobility and energy. And all of the startups, I think something like 180 startups we have worked with so far, all of these startups actually address these challenges with the cities. Something that maybe puts us apart from most other support that you can get for a startup is the way we invest. For us, we do invest with a clear focus on the impact that the startup and the venture that we invest in can create in the city. So we're not really looking for future unicorns in that sense. We are much more focusing on startups that can provide change in the cities and create an impact for the environment within the city, within the cities basically of our regions. I think also that some of the learnings that I have from ventures I've participated in, but also from our programs, are quite interesting. One of the most important things, I think, for a startup is to network. And here, EIT Earn Mobility can actually help you with warm introductions to customers, investors, and potential industry partners. Remember, your team is the weakest link. Always defend your co-founders. Most startups that have issues and that fail, that I've seen, usually the origin is within the team. Also remember that you know your business much better than anyone else. Don't take advice on how to run your business. There's so much other advice that you need. The ultimate proof of your business idea is also revenue. I've also seen many of our startups where the team is maybe not, freshly graduated from a university, but experienced, seasoned entrepreneurs. And their work-life balance is essential for them to succeed. So working 24 hours a day is really not something that I would recommend, even if the myth states that you should do so. Also, don't listen to venture capitalists. Venture capitalists might tell you that your idea is interesting if only you did the following. That usually is an indication that they are not interested. They will never tell you no. Finally, keep it simple. Don't focus on 3 or more business models at the same time. Keep it simple and generate revenue immediately. Another very important thing that, of course, is really at heart to EIT and mobility is the learning that gender-balanced startups perform much better. They generate twice the return on investment for the investors. They grow faster and they create more jobs. And clearly, if it is a testament of how good of a founder you are, since if you can recruit a diverse team, it proves that you have the basic ability to build a company and to grow it. Some things that we've seen within, for example, active mobility is that, of course, electric bicycles make sense out of an environmental perspective. Half of the electric bicycles that are bought actually replace car commuting. Electric scooters still have a lot to prove. A very small part of the electric scooter is actually related to the electric transport. Much larger impact comes from the logistics of changing the batteries or collecting the scooters or collecting the batteries, or the manufacturing cost and the lifespan of an electric scooter. We also looked a lot at sustainable city logistics, and here there is still a trade-off that has not yet been proven by the startups and by the innovation community. One electric van is equal to 5 cargo bikes. The implication of this is, of course, that the salary cost for running one van is 5 times lower than running 5 cargo bikes. Somewhere There are solutions that are addressing this, but this is a very important aspect if you're in this space. Looking at the public realm, we've seen the super blocks implemented in Barcelona. Remember, it took 20 years. And the vision is just fantastic. If you've visited the super blocks in Barcelona, you will know what I talk about. It's beautiful. It's a very difficult environment to create innovations in. If we look at the most obvious, and we can see that in the statistics of the applicants to our programs as well, is that in future mobility, mobility as a service solutions are extremely common. Competition is fierce in this space. And I can understand why, because it definitely is something that both the cities and the citizens are requiring as a kind of service for them to improve their commuting, to improve the solutions and the different mobility solutions that they use. But connected to this, many startups talk about artificial intelligence and AI. And they add forecasting tools to their solutions. And the problem maybe in the city environment is that many of these forecasting tools actually generate really trivial solutions, which the cities, based on all their experience, quite easily arrive to themselves. So AI is not really a competitive advantage in our space. And I think last but not least, looking at the electrification of public transport and transport in general within the cities. Remember, batteries is not all. Battery solutions and battery-driven cars are, of course, here to stay. But looking at heavy transport or other solutions, there are other ways of providing electrical power to buses, trams, or even within shipping areas in ports and these kind of areas. So it's not yet set in stone. And I think with this, I would like to all welcome you. Good luck in this event, and also looking forward to a fantastic future together with all your brilliant solutions. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Frederick. And so let us, the EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator Pitch Awards start, and may the odds be with all of you. Well, the odds and the jury, because they are also a key player in this contest.
Yes, indeed. So with no more delays, let me introduce you to our jury.
Thank you, Carolina. So this is Pablo Garrido, investment manager at EIT Urban Mobility. I'm currently based in Granada, which is a small city in the south of Spain. But of course, my headquarters sits where EIT Urban Mobility main office is in Europe, which is in Barcelona. And therefore, I'm delighted to be part of this pitch jury for the awards. And I look forward to getting to know the most talented tech mobility entrepreneurs in Europe. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anna Branten, and I am founder of Institute for Transition, and we work with accelerating sustainable companies. And I'm very happy to be a part of the jury today and to get to know some of the most interesting mobility companies in Europe. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Tomas. I'm Director of Startup World Cup Summit and Investment Analyst in VC Fund Air Ventures. I'm based in Prague, Czech Republic, and thank you to the organizers for having me and looking forward to all the pitches. Good luck everyone.
Hello everyone, my name is Anna. I'm the new REES Business Creation Officer at EIT Urban Mobility. I'm based in Barcelona at its headquarters, and I'm really happy to be part of this Accelerator Awards jury.
Those are the ones who will decide who the winner is. And you might wonder, according to which they made the decision. There are a few criteria which needed to be scored. For example, innovativeness, market potential, competition analysis, team experience, or presentation skills. The startup that proved to be the strongest in those criteria will take the first place.
Thanks a lot, Carolina. And since we are already in Prague, let's start with the startups from Innovation Hub East. 5 startups enrolled in our Accelerator program, batch 2 in this hub. Within this 6 months period, we've seen them growing incredibly fast. And well, let's learn a little bit more about these startups. And for that, I would like to welcome the Business Creation Manager from Innovation Hub East, Jan Hauser. Jan, tell us, how have you lived this batch 2 of startups in the Innovation Hub?
Well, in this year of the program, we had a really great set of teams in our Accelerator program. We had software developers, we had companies doing safety for cyclists, manufacturing cars or autonomous vehicles, and all these teams, they tried to really take out the most of the program. They have really actively participated in all the events, in the mentoring, in the coaching, and we believe they really moved forward during the 6 months of the program.
Jan, tell us, how has been the evolution of FSC all over the 6 months?
FSC came into the program with a great product. It was an electric light van for the centers of the cities, basically. And they have a great development team, they have a great energy platform for electric cars, and they can manufacture amazing vehicles. And the program really helped them go forward with reaching to investors, presenting themselves to investors, and with networking, because we were able to network the company to the partners of EIT Urban Mobility, both cities and industry partners.
That's a huge evolution, so let's see their pitch now. FSC, your minutes of glory at the EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator Pitch Awards start now.
Hello, I'm Thomas, co-founder of FSC with more than 20 years experience in the automotive business. Our CEO, Piotr, is a Six Sigma black belt holder from General Electric. Justina, our product manager, and Christian Polocek, our strategic investor, is also the owner of the 6th rent-a-car franchise in Poland. Our shareholders are 95% private people from Germany, Spain, and Poland, and 5% are held by EIT Urban Mobility. But let us have a look on the problem we all will face.
More and more cities ban traditional cars from their streets. Only eco-friendly vehicles can access the city. Traditional vans cannot enter the city. Can you imagine the chaos when no van is allowed to enter your city? No food delivery. No waste transport. No toilet fixing anymore. No heating repairs. Will cities die?
Probably not. Our product strategy is focused and very clear. We are going to support the climate fight against climate change with 3 commercial electric vans. They are heavily tested on the bench and with our customers, and they are meeting the requirements of a market we are ready to go to. A market that counts alone in Europe for 300,000 units in the 3 major segments we are targeting, and that counts for more than 10 billion euro. Our product strategy is very focused and clear. Like Tesla did in their beginning, we are not inventing the wheel again. We are rather focusing on the innovative part of transportation, the electric drivetrain. And like Tesla did with the Lotus Elise platform they used for their first electric vehicle in their first 4 years, we are using existing commercial vehicle platforms for our 3 different sized electric vans. And like Tesla did, we do not stop here. We are using our gained know-how in electrification to develop in the next step an all-new, highly innovative, hybrid light commercial vehicle platform that will operate both in urban as well in long-distance environment. Our industrial strategy is very focused. because actually we are able to build up to 1,000 units a year in our existing facilities here in Poland. Once going above this volume, we expect in 2023, we need to add additional production capacity, which could be also set up in regional assembly hubs close to our customers in Europe. Our competitors are the classical OEMs, but we are focusing more on the specialists, on the companies which are also, like we, working exclusively on light commercial vehicles in electric mode, which is Street Scooter, London Electric Vehicle Corporation, and Maxus. There are some smaller transformation companies in Germany, but they have a less international focus than we. We are now looking for the next 250,000 euro investment, which is foreseen to be used for our launch of our vehicles, as well as the further research and development works. If you join us now with a 250,000 euro, you are not alone, as you can see here, but more important, you bring back our corporate value to the pre-COVID amount of 5 million euro, and in probably less than a year, your investment will be doubled after the next investment round when we reach a corporate value of 12.5 million. So in summary, our team is in place, a clear product strategy, our market is well identified and appetizing, and our industrial strategy is very focused. Please join us on our exciting journey. Thank you.
What would you say are your biggest obstacles at the moment for achieving your goals?
Like all startups, is money, of course. But once having resolved this, is to keep speed and pace and bring additional engineers on board. That's our next target.
All right, I'll go next, please. What's your customer acquisition cost?
We are in the beginning running on direct sales, so the cost is quite limited to HR, okay? This is at the moment in Polish, probably 6,000 zloty per month, with very limited marketing spending, which is typical for commercial vehicles. You don't see a lot of advertising because you are focusing a B2B customer, so it's direct marketing.
Thank you, Avasi, and good luck. Let's meet our second finalists. Jan, tell us, how has been the evolution of Dashbike all over these 6 months?
Dashbike is the next startup, and they are an amazing team of people working on safety of cyclists. They have a great product that they will introduce, and they have great development, they have great design, and we were really happy to help them with the other parts of the business as well, which was during the mentoring and coaching sessions, especially marketing, the ways to approach partners and potential customers, and of course, again, networking, as with all our participating startups.
So let's now see their pitch. Dashbike, your minutes of glory comes into scene right now.
In this case, thank you very much for welcoming me here. I'm Lilia, I'm the co-founder of the Dash Factory, and I'm also a professional cyclist. We had a lot of difficult situations and really dangerous situations, and decided that we want a dash cam which is also measuring the distance and also is legal compliant. So this is how we started to develop our dash bike. Meanwhile, we don't just have our dash bike itself, we developed Dash Track, which is an urban data platform for cities. On the one hand side, we have the hardware device for the cyclists, but on the other hand side, it is also a sensor box to give you, for your city planning, a lot of really interesting data. A big problem in Germany, at least, is that numbers of cyclists are growing pretty fast, but the cycling infrastructure is not growing in the same amount. So we want to give you data to make the planning of the cycling infrastructure digital. This is how our dash bike looks like. We have a lot of different mountings, so you can put it on every bicycle. Doesn't matter if it's a road bike, a city bike, or a cargo bike, or something else. We are measuring the distance and filming permanently in loops. always if either an accident happens, so our acceleration sensor can detect this, or we have a car or vehicle which is overtaking with less than 1.5 meters, then we are saving those last 20 seconds plus the actual 5 seconds permanently. Our flow works like that. So it's a little bit splitted. On the one hand, we have our Dashbike riders, the city cyclists, the road bike cyclists who are filming for their safety reasons. Also, we have a running daylight to make them much more visible. So after the ride, they want to see their data, they want to see their critical spots and stuff like that, so that they synchronize everything with the app. In this part, we have now the possibility to put everything of the data, anonymous for sure, into our server, and now we can use this data. So we can use the data for frequented routes, for critical spots, for really accident spots, and also for the road conditions out of our acceleration sensor, ultrasonic sensor, GPS sensor, and stuff like that. We can make nearly everything possible and implement this into your city. When you want to digitalize the cycling infrastructure, the easiest thing is to make it over dashcams, because dashcam is the thing which is growing with nearly 700% in the last years and is the most growing product in the consumer electronic. Thank you very much for this presentation.
Thank you for your presentation, Lilia. I was wondering which are the customers you are focusing on, because I'm reading your webpage and it's like you are making this mention to court laws and how to use this information in your on your behalf, but I was wondering that maybe this is also valuable information for public entities, maybe to develop public policies in terms of transport and public realm changes, maybe. So how are you focusing this?
Yeah, so in the B2C model, we sell directly to customers. We thought in the beginning the sport customers, the sport cyclists would be much more interesting, but we figured out in the last year that it's more the people who are commuting, who are going grocery shopping in the cities, are in the age between 30 and 50 and don't feel safe in the streets. On the other hand side, we work together with, at the moment, 3 different cities. It's the city of Leipzig, city of Jena, and city of Graz in Austria. And we sell Dashbikes to them, and they will get the data, in this case, for free. This is just for our 3 pilot projects now. For sure, we will sell the data in the future. But for us, it was pretty important to have a reference, to have cities, they say, it's fine, it's working good, everything works. And after this, for sure, we will sell the data.
I just want to actually step in here because, of course, I was considering that monetization through data is, of course, one of the key assets of this project. However, when it comes to the GDPR, how do you actually cope with that? Do you sell it like unpacked and anonymous data just to improve the actual, transportation, urban transportation within the cities? Or do you have to be compliant to actually, modulate and work a little bit with this GDPR compliance?
Yeah, so we work together with a lawyer to get here not into trouble. But what we figured out is that the cities are not really interested from which house directly to which house directly they drive. So with the city of Leipzig and Jena, we put it into a raster on a map and just say the person started in the topic here in A2, for example, and was riding from this street to this street to this street and was ending in maybe E4 or stuff like that. So the beginning and the end is always really anonymous because it doesn't matter for us. It's not an advantage for the cities. It's not what they are interested in.
So Jan, that was all from the Innovation Hub East. And now we need to move to the next hub, not before wishing you, as the ambassador of these two amazing startups, very good luck. Let's move to the Innovation Hub West. But before, let's meet the 5 startups that were enrolled in the Accelerator program Batch 2 in the Innovation Hub West. And now let's deep dive more into these startups with the Business Creation Manager giving support to Innovation Hub West, Raúl Feliu. Raúl, welcome.
Hello, Jezebel.
Raúl, first of all, we need to highlight that despite the fact we are already in the batch 2 of startups, this is the first time for the Innovation Hub West, which shows the extension of this program from 2020 to 2021. This being said, and before we meet our finalists from Innovation Hub West, Raúl, tell us, how have you lived this batch 2 of startups in the Innovation Hub West?
Well, Jezebel, it's been quite an intense journey since January 2021. So startups have received support from a unique environment. We have given expertise with the collaboration of our partners on different fields, just like, for example, autonomous driving solutions, traffic flow management, also mobility as a service solutions, so quite a range, just to name a few.
Raúl, the moment of the truth has come. Are you nervous? Because I certainly am. Let's meet our first finalist. Raúl, tell us, how has been the evolution of Sugo all over these 6 months?
Yes, so Sugo, they arrived at the program with a clear focus to improve their prototype and have a ready-to-commercialize product. And Innovation Hub West Accelerator has gone on their side all the way through. We have helped them with fine-tuning their business, so ultimately they can get all bikes electrified around Europe.
So let's see their pitch now. Sugo, your minutes of glory at the EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator Pitch Awards start now.
Good afternoon. We are Sugo, a startup on a mission to democratize access to the electric bicycle. Because we know that making the car electric is not really solving any of our problems. In fact, even if we starting today sold only electric cars, we'd get nowhere near meeting our carbon emission targets for personal transport. And that while there's a massive untapped potential to drastically increase our mobility by electrifying the more than 1 billion electric bikes that exist today. We can make any 15-kilometer trip feel like a breeze. But it's not so simple. Today, you must really love your bike before you spend a small fortune buying a conversion kit, spend a weekend trying to install that kit safely, only to get it stolen while you pop in to get your groceries. Sugo delivers a subscription service that electrifies and secures any bike for less than your monthly TV subscription, so that now virtually anyone can cycle anywhere. And the timing is right now, because we want to leverage the momentum generated by both citizens and governments supporting cycling infrastructure and the circular economy, while also taking advantage of a large unfilled value gap in the market. And we'll kick things off in our home market, the Netherlands, a strong 1 billion euro trend-leading market with an install base of more than 20 million bicycles and 300,000 new bicycles being added per year, allowing us to quickly scale our electrification as a service model. But the bicycle business is huge, but also an incredibly fragmented market. And the existing technologies and supply chains really make it difficult for incumbents to penetrate the market space we're targeting. On top of that, our technology is designed to make electric cycling incredibly simple for the user, while being scalable and durable from an operations perspective. We're also extremely happy to have strong signs of product market fit with our MVP, with paying customers for our prototype, while already having to turn down customers' referrals that have been sent to us from the other side of the Netherlands already. I met my co-founder, Jody, more than 15 years ago when we designed and raced a record-breaking human-powered submarine. He's got a PhD in bicycle dynamics and control and has already started 3 companies in IoT and security. My name is Samuel, and I have a background in aerospace engineering and have experience scaling complex technologies in academic projects at multinationals and have also worked in VC. We're also being supported by an amazing group of advisors and volunteers that are ready to jump on board when we close our seed round, which will be launching after the summer. So if you have any questions or you want to join our electrifying ride, be sure to reach out to me after this. Thank you.
your competitive advantage? There are several startups or services. I'm based here in Prague, Czech Republic, and here are several similar, maybe same services as yours. And it's kind of love brand here. And I believe it's kind of similar in Netherlands, in Amsterdam especially. So do you have any advantage? Please.
When you say similar services, just so that I understand what service you're talking about?
Electric bikes, sharing electric bikes.
Right, so it's not really electric bike sharing. So what we do is you are the owner of your existing bike, and we convert that as a service. So it's targeting, let's say, ownership. So it's an interesting model because we have a very different cost structure because you're the owner of the bike, you have a bike, and we electrify that.
Is this software applicable to all kinds of bicycles?
Essentially, let's say European regulation bicycles, yeah. So it would be slightly different for the US, but EU, most EU bicycles.
Yeah, okay. So I was more like thinking about the bicycle itself regarding its structure and weight and capacities regarding the wheels and
So I'm being a bit over optimistic initially. Obviously, we're cutting down what are the first, let's say, easy targets to take first. But like once you go to, let's say, these cargo bikes or those kind of things, those are slightly more something. But let's say any bike where one person or a person with a child cycles on, that's pretty much in scope for the initial part, which is by far the largest section of bikes, right? Yeah.
Thank you, Hugo, and good luck. Let's meet our next finalist from Innovation Hub West. Saul, tell us how has been the evolution of OTIV all over these 6 months?
Well, OTIV, for example, they had a funding gap that they covered with a seed round of 800K, so that's quite a milestone. And they keep developing the solution for assisted and autonomous railway vehicles. So we're at their side during this journey.
So let's see their pitch now. OTIV, your minutes of glory at the EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator Pitch Awards start now.
Good morning, members of the jury. Very happy to present to you OTIV. I'll start with a bit of context. We know that in mobility and urban mobility, it's really one of the focus areas of big investments in the last couple of years. We've seen autonomous cars, we've seen very ambitious projects like Hyperloop, and everyone is trying to solve this urban mobility challenge. But what if I told you that we already have a transport mode that is installed and that can transport a lot of people in an efficient and in a relatively cheap way? And it's trains and trams. We only need to make those trains and trams better. And that is where OTIV comes in. So what do we do at OTIV? We teach vehicles on rails to drive autonomously. When we talk about vehicles on rails, we focus on three big focus areas. First of all, we have trams in urban environments. We have next to that trains on shunting yards and on complex industrial sites as well. For now, we'll focus on the trams, of course. What do we see there in terms of issues? We see three big challenges. And the three big challenges are safety, cost, and a shortage of drivers. The safety challenge, I don't have to explain this to you. When you imagine a tram going through a busy shopping street, it is a safety challenge. Cost, when you look at the operational cost or the operating cost for a public transport operator, we see that personnel costs are about 50% or more. And then thirdly, there's actually a shortage of drivers, which means that operators cannot find enough drivers to satisfy the demand there is for their rides, resulting in canceled rides. So we see these three problems, and at OTIV, we see the solution to these problems as teaching the vehicles to drive autonomously. And when we say autonomously, we see this in two phases. First phase is assisting the driver. The second phase is taking over control and fully taking control over the vehicles. So that is how we see this. The assistance, we can take both products together. They're an advanced driver assistance system. What do? We scan the environment. We have sensors on the train. We scan the environment, and based on that, we make decisions to notify the driver. Autonomous driving, there, of course, we go one step further and we take the driver out of the cabin and we automate the entire process. Why are we focusing on rail? It is because we're truly convinced that rail is by far the most sustainable transport mode, and we really want to contribute to this modal shift. When we look at the greenhouse gas emissions in the EU, we see that rail transport is less than 1%. When you compare that to road transport, 72% of all greenhouse gas emissions from transport come from the road. We also see that the EC has named 2021 as the European Year of Rail. And that's where we're also super excited to be part of this urban mobility partnership to further push on this modal shift towards more rail. When we look at the market, when we translate all of that to a market, we see that it's roughly 1.1 billion market divided in 3 blocks. So we have the trams, we have the shunting yards, and then we have the industrial sites with on-site trains. When we translate that to typical clients, these are selected prospects of OTIV. We see also 3 types. We see public transport operators, such as DB, such as NS in the Netherlands, such as SBB in Switzerland. We see private rail network operators, such as BASF, such as ArcelorMittal. And then we have the builders, so the people that make the vehicles, which is Bombardier or Alstom or Stadler. We all have discussions with these players. When we talk about competition, very shortly, it's not non-existent, because if competition doesn't exist, I would never go into this market. But it is a niche. Why is it a niche? Because you have the big market of mainline rail, so the normal trains, and then trams and industrial sites are always they're always second choice for all these builders and for all these developers. So there is very limited market penetration today, with a significant market potential for OTIV, for a startup to enter into this market. When we talk about what we've been doing in the last couple of months, we're very proud that we have a pilot running with the NS, so with the Dutch railways, where we pilot our assisted and autonomous shunting solution. And then next to that, we're piloting with industrial players to alleviate the impact of trucks and heavy transport in the ports and in cities and around ring roads, and to shift all of that to rail. So we're solving that by working together with these industrial players. And then the next step, a final step, is of course to go fully autonomous, where we partner with the builder, manufacturer of these railway vehicles that we will make autonomous. You can see that they're also electric, which has of course a huge benefit compared to these old diesel locomotives that you know before. I'll conclude by that. What are our next steps? 2 very clear next steps. We're looking for pilot projects, and we are also preparing our Series A funding. We raised a seed funding a couple of months ago. We're also going to prepare the Series A funding. So thanks a lot for your attention. Very happy to further discuss any questions you may have.
So my main question comes here when it comes to the actual freight and passenger operators normally share the same trails. So which one do you primarily target to get this market validation? Because of course there is like a major, let's say, segmentation or differentiation when it comes to actually targeting freight versus, passengers transportation. So which one do you believe that can help us to really reduce energy consumption and this actual shift from road to rail?
We look at it from 2 sides. First of all, we think that the big shift that we can make is in freight. So if we look at the market, the big modal shift that can be made is from trucks to freight trains. And next to that, it's also our technology, the niche that we develop, or the niche technology that we develop, is specifically focused on these complex environments. And so these complex environments, they are cities on one end, but also these industrial sites and these shunting yards and these ports. So that is where our technology shines. Our technology is not optimized for the main line, the main passenger lines, like between Berlin and Hamburg. That's not where we shine. We shine in the shunting yard right before, and in the port of Hamburg, for example.
Could you state that your product is ready to work with the infrastructure that it's already built? And my second question is regarding the pilots. Where are you planning to do the pilots? And if you have like specific cities or whatever.
So first question regarding infrastructure, what's very important is that typically or traditionally the railway industry, when there's innovations, that translated to infrastructure work. What we do is we make the vehicle smart, not the infrastructure. And the big advantage there is that you don't need the huge investments in infrastructure. You don't need, if we do pilots on shunting yards, the only thing we touch is a train. So there's no additional beacons or signaling that is required. We focus on the train. So that is a big advantage, and that's also what you see with, for example, autonomous cars. Autonomous cars don't mean that on every street corner we need smart sensors or so. No, everything, all the intelligence is in the car, and that's the same with us. All the intelligence is in the train. And then your next question was on pilots. So you see that we're already running a couple of them, both with public transport operators, with industrial players, with freight lines. But of course, we're looking to expand that also to cities, to trams, where we have a couple of discussions in Belgium, the Netherlands, and beyond. So that would be a very interesting focus area for us.
Thank you, OTIV, and good luck. And now, let's move to Innovation Hub Central. But before, let's meet the 5 startups that were enrolled in the Business Creation Accelerator program, Batch 2, for the Innovation Hub Central. And now, let's deep dive more into these startups with the Business Creation Manager of Innovation Hub Central, Johannes Kirchner. Johannes, welcome.
Hi, Jezebel.
Johannes, before we meet our finalists from Innovation Hub Central, tell us, how have you lived this batch 2 of startups in the Innovation Hub?
Yeah, well, that was quite a journey, actually. As you know, it was the second round of the Accelerator program in Hub Central. Quite an intense application process, and we were overwhelmed because we received over 300 applications for all of the different hubs. And I mean, it was so hard to decide to narrow this down to only 5. But as you know, it is kind of an intense application process. You have different stages. And yeah, thanks to our partners who are quite supportive in these selection processes, we were able to come up with some 5 really inspiring teams.
And now, Johannes, the moment of the truth has come. Are you nervous? I certainly am. Johannes, tell us, how has been the evolution of Blue Dot all over these 6 months?
Yeah, quite inspiring company who is focusing on the charging infrastructure of the future, which is kind of an ambitious goal. What they were interested in, or why they joined, was really to understand the status quo, what is already there, what is already located around Europe when it comes to electric charging stations. And especially they were also looking for partnerships with small and medium-sized businesses, because they don't focus on these where you have gas stations and then you just add like electric charging stations. They focus on like local stores, restaurants, where you then just go and charge your car. So it was inspiring to see them grow and really diving into this market, which is quite a challenge.
So they certainly improved, and it's very nice to witness to the evolution of each startup, right? So let's see their pitch now. Blue Dot, your minutes of glory at the EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator Pitch Awards start now.
Hello everyone, my name is Selinay and I am one of the co-founders and also leading the operations at the company, and we are creating an engagement platform for the charging stations. So right now, also one of the electric car drivers in the ecosystem, as you might all guess, EV charging takes time. And what we have been doing while charging our cars are we go eat something, we read stuff, we walk around, we sometimes work, stretch, and we also ask this question to the more than 800 people around and see that how we can utilize this time frame while we are charging our cars. So we have realized that this can create a great opportunity for small medium enterprises to connecting services with the charging activity. But the problem in there, the small medium enterprises don't know how to benefit from these charging stations around with like a new gas stations around, and they have a lack of engagement with the EV drivers, and it creates a scalability problem for the charging stations. And at the same time, we see a great push from the government to fulfill the demand of 10 million electric cars just in Germany. We need to install at least 2,000 charging stations every week. So as Blue Dot, this is where we have come into ground. So we help small medium enterprises to install and self-manage their charging stations while engaging with the EV drivers, and we also help them to reduce their downtime of the charging stations while helping them to earn money. To do that, we have two different products and services. One of them is our Blue Dot management tool, where you can check the performance, optimize your charging station, get an income directly to your account. You can set the tariff, schedule available times, and different than the others, we also enable you to interact with EV drivers so that you can advertise your location via our engagement tool and be part of our loyalty program. So let me go through with one of our examples. For example, this cupcaking bake shop has advertising themselves in Blue Dot platforms. So once you're charging your car nearby, you can get a 10% cashback from this store. And in the other example, they have, like Sula has 3 different charging stations nearby, so that these small medium enterprises can benefit from the nearby charging station via our Blue Dot app. So people, EV drivers like me, can discover charging stations around. They can collect some points while going to that location and also spend that locations in the places that are advertising themselves. And different than our competitors, what we do is we enable your charging potential in a more commercialized way so that you can directly reach out to the customers and at the same time get some payments through it. So our obtainable market size is right now approximately 400 million. And right now we are just saw that the Tesla filed a trademark on restaurant entering the restaurant market. So we are just waiting for Ellen to tweet about that to see the market booming again. Until now, we have been seeing different interactions with the locations, involved more than 17 nearby businesses into our platform, and we have located more than 29 charging station locations, and we charge $39 per month to manage and operate their charging stations, and we also have different channels of income coming from our engagement tool. And till now, also we secured more than 1,500 users, and they drove more than 170K kilometers with us. So we know where they're starting their trip and where they are ending their trip. And a couple of case studies that we have done with Istanbul municipality and different charging station manufacturers. And as a team, I love electric cars, and my team members has a background on the automotive companies more than 3 years with a mechanical engineering background. And right now we are looking for new locations to engage with the new generation drivers as like retails, hotels, restaurants, supermarkets, and sports facilities. Thank you.
Are you setting up the charging stations according to the demand of these small medium enterprises, or how are you like imagining all like the process from the beginning?
So if they already have a charging station, we provide them an engagement tool. So like a platform where they can directly advertise themselves and set campaigns and so on. If they don't have the charging spot, we have the partners. We connected with more than 12 charging station manufacturers. So we offer chargers from them, and they can like have the charging stations they want. And they can also manage their charging station and directly use the engagement tool. Yeah.
Hi, Selena. Thank you for the presentation. Please, who are your paying customers, or what's the business model behind your idea?
Yeah. So right now in the market, you might imagine there are lots of different management companies. Like also networks are managing the charging stations for sure. But once the networks are managing the charging stations, there's a problem with a host and operator. So once the operator and the host of the charging station is different, it's kind of like creating a problem in the situation. What we do, and like right now, we work with lots of hotels. So this is one of the segmentations that we are having. I think that will be the answer for your question. And we have started testing our product with the Istanbul municipality. That was the first test that we have done back in Turkey. And also, like right now, for example, I am in San Francisco, and there are lots of different demands from small, medium enterprises from here, especially from here. So people want to utilize the time that their EV drivers are coming, and they know they are the loyal ones. So once you start knowing the place with the charging station, you prefer going there. So I also have a spots like this. So I go every morning into the same street to charge my car because I know there's a coffee shop in there that I can spend time in. So right now, most of them are hotels and the restaurant spots.
Thank you, Blue Dot, and good luck. Let's meet our next finalist from Innovation Hub Central. And Johannes, tell us, how has been the evolution of Mooster all over these 6 months?
Yeah, I'm happy to share some insights about Mooster, a company from Munich who have a fantastic product because they try to incentivize sustainable forms of mobility. But they also have a lot of stakeholders involved. So they shared that they are really looking for B2B partners, for new stakeholders, for new customers. So quite a complex approach. On top of that, they were also looking for talent, and they still are. So if you want to join one of the leading mobility startups in Munich, feel free to reach out to Mooster.
And now, let's see their pitch. Mooster, your minutes of glory at the EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator Pitch Awards start now.
Okay. Hello together. My name is Mooster. I'm the founder and CEO of Mooster. Imagine a world without traffic jam, hassle-free and relaxed travel, less stress and pollution, better air and quality of life for everyone. This is the vision of Mooster. The miles and more for sustainable mobility decisions and an all-new corporate mobility budget solution. So let's have a look on the problem we're facing or we are trying to solve. Employer mobility offers are quite inflexible today, and sustainable mobility behavior is not rewarded. Typically, employers offer their employees a company car or an inflexible job ticket. Cities fight congestion and overcrowded infrastructure every single day, more and more, especially during peak times when people go to work with their cars. And employees or city dwellers seeking indeed for more flexibility and being supported by their employers, and they want to get rewarded if they change something into their behavior towards more sustainability. So this is what we solve with Mooster, a flexible mobility budget solution with a reward benefit system similar to Miles and More. Like, how does it work? Like, your employer or an employer can give you to an employee a all flexible mobility budget, so which can be spent on all kinds of different mobility services as a real sustainable alternative to the company car. This can save the employee, but also the employer money. provides flexibility to use all kinds of different mobility options being available, shared mobility, whatever you can imagine. And we reward you now, Mooster is rewarding you for sustainable and active mobility decisions with Mooster coins. And those coins can be spent on our brand partner network for attractive discounts or exclusive brand partner offerings. So what is the new thing? Mooster is really the first open mobility platform and multi-sided marketplace in one. So we connect mobility together with e-commerce, and with our services, technical services, we have a great offering for companies and their employees by managing their job route fleet, like a bicycle fleet or mobility budget system to make mobility for employees more sustainable and flexible. Our reward benefit system is about getting all citizens rewarded for sustainable mobility decisions. And for cities and public transport providers, we have a campaign management system. Just imagine you get a push notification which tells you, don't go to the peak time to work tomorrow and earn extra Mooster coins. Together with an AI-based data analytics, we are able now to really make sense of data and create new experiences. We are a great visionary and experienced team and want to develop and change how people move. We are planning to grow our team, and we are looking for fresh capital of around 1.5 million euros beginning of next year. Let's solve urban mobility together. Thank you so much.
I'll go first, if I may. Thank you, Mario, for your presentation. How do you approach your customers, please?
The customers, we have a great network of B2B partners. First of all, it's the Jobrad, it's the market leader in Germany, which is doing this bike leasing program and delivering it to companies as a benefit. And we teamed up with Jobrad, and they bring us to B2B partners, sort of as in a upselling logic. Because if an employer already started Jobrad, where we do the management for, a full, also with our solution, an end-to-end full service management of this Jobrad offer, then we are able to upsell here in a great way, because those employers already interested in sustainable and new mobility options, and a mobility budget is just the next step for them. So this is how we sell to the B2B market. So because we have a B2B2C model, so to the employer-employee section. And in talking about the freemium model, every citizen not having a budget yet can also enter into the Mooster movement and can get rewarded by attractive benefits by changing mobility behavior. So you don't have to need a budget so far, but you can, if you change your mobility behavior for it's better, then you are rewarded with Mooster coins and can make more out of your mobility. So this is what we do with brand partners. We are onboarding on the platform at the moment because they are interested as well. They want to bring their brand into something great in terms of sustainability and create impact with their brand and offering as well. So this is how we distribute the service into the market. And on the B2B market, with partners, with strong partners, we have namely Jobrad, as I mentioned, and also IBM is a partner with us, which is helping us distributing our solution into the B2B market.
So Mario, I would like to actually get an example of a successful collaboration with a company in order to determine whether you are actually using the bottom-up versus the top-down approach. Is it by making people behave and make choices coordinately with the actual decision makers from public administrations or these transportation and providers, and how do you actually harmonize that the actual incentives that you have somehow launched are somehow well received and harmonized by the end users? Because as you said, it's a B2B2C model. So how do you actually try to get all parties involved somehow, coordinated with the final decision makers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a great question. In the end, it's exactly as you said. It's a lot of stakeholders which have to work together in the end. And first of all, we have the platform to do so. So this is the first answer to this question. So to really bring everyone together, and you named it, like we need cities and citizens to change something, and we need the companies and its employees to change something. Like somehow everyone, and like the next thing, we can bring other like brands, strong brands together to motivate. So, and this is what we built the platform for, to bring everyone together to care about our future, let's say. So, and in the end, it's like we started out, and what we see is that the brand partners are quite interested joining this movement. So they come to us now, start to reach out to us, hey, they want to be part of this movement. The companies and employees are speaking themselves, or like speaking for themselves in terms of like, we play out this offer and they hop on because of they want to, companies want to give their employees a cool new benefit and more sustainability mobility options. And the cities, this is really the crucial part as well. Of course, this is something we're reaching out to the cities now and offering the opportunity to even doing those campaigns, starting those campaigns, and like managing it from their side. Though every city or public transport provider can say, hey, I have a need in those peak times, I have a need in those like time frames to change something, and we will then adopt like our logics or our campaigns accordingly. So like everyone can really bring its input, and we will manage this input and bring this experience to the end user. So this is how we're working. But of course, it's about the partner then, if partners are willing to join in the end, to join this model and to make something out of it. That's how we're tackling it. Hopefully this answered the question.
Sure. So Mari, just one piece of advice is just like, it will be useful for you to show which enabling mechanisms for collaboration are actually offered within the platform of Mooster. That's because it will actually help us to illustrate the customer journey a little bit more in detail.
Thank you, Mooster, and good luck. Johannes, that was all from the Innovation Hub Central, and now we need to move to the next hub. Let's move to the Innovation Hub South, but before, let's meet the 5 startups that have passed through the Business Creation Accelerator program, batch 2, at this hub. And now, let's deep dive more into these startups with the Business Creation Manager of Innovation Hub South, Matteo Consoni. Matteo, welcome.
Thank you very much, Isabel. It's great to be here today.
Matteo, before we meet our finalists from Innovation Hub South, tell us, how have you lived this batch 2 of startups in the Innovation Hub?
Yeah, it's been a very interesting batch so far. We had 5 amazing startups on board from Italy, Spain, Portugal, working on different topics related to mobility and energy, road safety, active mobility, and we are looking forward to see who's going to be the winner today.
Matteo, tell us, how has been the evolution of ASIMOB all over these 6 months?
ASIMOB from Spain, they develop AI and IoT solutions to improve road safety conditions. Through the program, they went to different type of mentoring to improve their business model and the business aspects of their venture, but also the technical side. So they received product development mentorship to going forward with their development stages. And we are really eager to keep on monitoring this company in the future and find new ways to work with them and to support them.
And now, let's see their pitch. ASIMOB, your minutes of glory at the EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator Pitch Awards start now.
Okay, at ASIMOB we focus in road safety. We all know the loss and pain of traffic accidents, and in up to 30% of accidents, the infrastructure has had some influence, worsening the consequences, even causing it. Now, within the infrastructure, improving road signage has proven to be the most cost-effective way to reduce accidents, between 24 and up to 87%. Now, keeping road signage in good condition is a task for maintenance teams that do visual inspection, So a fully manual task to check every day thousands, tens of thousands of traffic signs and hundreds of kilometers of road. At ASIMOB, we want to help them with new technology, automating this task. We install small, lightweight, low-cost devices inside the maintenance vehicle fleet that will gather video and data from the road and send it to our servers without disturbing the driver. In our servers, we use our artificial intelligence models to process that data and offer maintenance teams useful information for their everyday work. We can do traffic sign inventories, automated. We can regularly check the good visibility and condition of each and every traffic sign, or we enable remote monitoring of signals in roadworks area. We can also do an objective evaluation of the condition of the surface of the roads regarding irregularities. So we work mainly for public administrations, which are responsible for the roads, or the private companies, operation and maintenance companies that are subcontracted by these administrations. We also work with evaluators regarding safety or information providers. To give you an idea of the size of the market, only in Spain and only in interurban road, 1.5 million euros is invested per year. We have calculated that having 60 million dedicated to monitoring traffic signs in an automated way would ensure good traffic signage and reduce accidents between 24 and 35%. This is only interurban and only in Spain. We don't include urban because it's a segmented market, but you can have an idea of the numbers that we are handling. There are competitors, but they usually have these services as a byproduct, so they don't offer a comprehensive view and a useful tool for everyday work for maintenance teams. We are a highly technical team, and we have lots of years of experience in the intelligent transportation systems, software development, or technical services. And of course, the challenges that we have ahead is going towards Vision Zero, improving road safety, raising awareness of new methods and new technology to help in this goal, and enhance our functionality to cover more safety-related aspects of the road infrastructure. We try to keep roads safe. Thank you.
First, could you please explain a little bit further about your competition in the market?
Yeah, it's quite recent. I mentioned there are some of them. For example, Mapillary, it belongs to Facebook, and they do maps, and they can provide also they can detect traffic signs, but it's not automated. And they do an inventory of the traffic signs, but that's all they do. And all, I mean, the maintenance teams have to do everything. The recording, the uploading is all manual, and they don't help check this regular monitoring. There's no help for that. Another one would be Mobileye, that they focus on ADAS systems and autonomous driving. But they can also recognize the road surface, so they do this also manual collection of video to evaluate the condition of the road surface. But it's also manual. It only covers the road surface and is not thought for this. And Vaisala, and they are Finnish, and they are actually an engineering company. But they do have some things also for recognition. But I think none of them is thought for the everyday work of maintenance teams. And we're trying to cover that.
Since you're actually applying AI and I believe algorithms into your secret sauce, and is it possible to actually identify road conditions using satellite imagery? Because I think that, in terms of, especially growth and scalability, it would be such a powerful free tool to capitalize on. And I'm aware that some projects that I have mentored and I have evaluated are heavily and increasingly using satellites, in order to, somehow leverage on the cost and the efficiency of such a service. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for this, I see two different aspects to road maintenance. One of them is the architectural one, like checking bridges and tunnels and the civil work, so to say. And I see satellite images as very useful in this field. The other one is the everyday work, the lane markings, the traffic signs, the protection barriers, the things that have to be done every day, that you only see them when you're on the road, that you don't see them from a space. This is more the everyday work of the maintenance teams, not so much of the architect, and that's where we are. So I see it very useful for other aspects of roads, the architectural ones.
I'm a little bit interested in the business model. If you could elaborate a little bit about the future revenue streams.
Yeah. What we are doing is usually road authorities or maintenance companies, they have a network of streets or a city or a network of roads to maintain. We work for them, with them as a service. We adapt to their needs. So we monitor the roads by segments, and we can ensure, for example, we are doing now with the maintenance company a project in 200 kilometers, and we ensure that every traffic sign is checked every 15 days. We alert them on incidences, and we enable them to check stickers or vandalism or graffitis and things like this. So we work for them. It's a service for them. We can also do, it's a subscription. We monitor throughout months or years. We can also do one single service, like an inventory or something like that.
Thank you, ASIMOB, and good luck. It's now time to meet our next finalist from Innovation Hub South. Matteo, tell us, how has been the evolution of BIA all over these 6 months?
Yeah, the next startup is BIA POWER, also from Spain. They are optimizing electric vehicle charging, and through the program they specifically went and received support on funding processes and access to investment and financing. And also in their case they made great steps forwards. We will for sure keep on working with them in the future. And now let's listen to their pitch.
So, are you ready to see their pitch now? BIA, your minutes of glory at the EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator Pitch Awards start now.
Hi everyone, my name is Robbie and I'm one of the co-founders of BIA, a smart electric vehicle charging platform that is market leader in Spain. At BIA, we are super excited about the clean tech revolution. We are expert in the domain, yet we see a big problem, a problem that we are so passionate about that we have built a platform to solve it. Meet Olga. Olga runs the public fleets of the City Council of Barcelona, and she recently decided to electrify a portion of it. The problem is that there is not enough electrical capacity to charge those new electric vehicles, and Olga needs to retrofit the whole installation, something that is very expensive and that would probably need another upgrade once the rest of the fleet goes electric. Unmanaged EV charging can be problematic in a number of ways. It can cause premature battery degradation and also an increase for the demand of fossil fuels. BIA is a software company and we have built a platform to forecast, manage, and optimize EV charging. We'll modulate EV charging to lower the cost, simplify the charging experience, ensure green charging, and deliver new revenues through grid services. The BIA platform is hardware agnostic, and we can provide those benefits to EV charging sites, but also fleets and utilities, like retailers. What makes us different is that we can predict the charging flexibility and also that we can co-optimize for multiple parameters depending on what is important to our customers. Over the last year, we have become the market leader in Spain with revenue generating B2B partnerships and commercial deployments. Our pipeline is currently valued at almost 3 million euros and we have around 70,000 euros in contract. We have a SaaS business model and we charge an implementation fee to set up the ecosystem plus a monthly recurring fee. And this is the team that made BIA happen. We have 5 full-time contributors and 4 part-time. Candace has more than 15 years of experience in the clean tech space. Gines has spent the last 10 years developing applications in the cloud. myself, I'm a power system engineer by training, and I dedicated my career to trying to understand how we can better integrate renewable energies and EVs into our grids. We have raised funds from a number of actors, for instance, Telefonica, Rockstar, and a family and friends, and we're currently fundraising for our bridge round. The main objective is to increase our commercial deployments across Europe and North America. We're also preparing a Series A by the end of the year in Q4. Thanks so much for your time, and get in touch if you would like to experience our platform. We'll be happy to give you a free data analysis.
Thank you for your presentation, Robbie. It really looks promising. I like the idea. Just to clarify, who's your ideal customer?
Mm-hmm. So our ideal customer is really the entity that pays for the electricity bill at the end of the day. So no matter if it's a supermarket, a mall, a public entity, city council, a fleet. So it's quite fragmented right now. Everyone is installing EV charging infrastructure, either for their own operations or for the public. But yeah, our preferred, I would say, customer segment are big fleets and big charging sites, like parking operators, typically.
And I saw you got a really big revenue, which is really cool. Congrats for that. And those money from revenue, is it from these customers which you just described?
Just to clarify, the almost 3 million euros, this is our customer pipeline. So it's revenue that we expect to come in the next month that we're working on. Yeah, and the 70,000 that we already have under contract is from our customers, so Acciona, Aigües de Barcelona, BSM, Click Energy, and TMB, the public system operator in Barcelona. But yeah, we already have like the full spectrum of customers segments, from EV fleet, charging sites, and even a utility, an electricity retailer.
So Robbie, I'll go next. As far as I'm concerned, an optimization model for charging stations is actually in place by the vast majority of operators, which is based on waiting time. So how do you actually try to overcome the lack of supporting charging facilities? Because of course, there are like big players in this arena, which is, corporates such as Indra, such as Acciona and so on. But there is still, the lack of supporting charging facilities is still a bottleneck in the development of electric vehicles. So how do you actually plan to identify some other stakeholders that can help you to gain a critical mass of users?
Two things here. The first one is that, yeah, absolutely. We're still missing a lot of charge points across Europe. That's the first thing. And one of the problems, and it's something we're seeing a lot in Spain, in a country like Spain, where the power term, the subscription is really expensive. And most of our customers are already identifying this as a barrier. So the fact that they can operate at a lower capacity from the grid, at a lower power subscription, is something that really helps them now, but also in the future. Because everyone is starting to install charging infrastructure, but no one has reached the top, the 100% electrification of their facilities or fleets. So there's a long way till the 100% electrification yet. And the type of factors that we believe make sense to have in this ecosystem, you mentioned some of those, like big energy players are really useful for us, like Acciona. That's the reason why we're partnering with them. They are not only a customer, they are a channel. So every time they work in self-consumption or any other activities within the energy domain, it makes sense for them and for their customers to also think about charging infrastructure and how to make it resilient and also sustainable with their self-consumption strategy. And then we have other players like CPOs, companies that are already managing charging infrastructure from the user and billing management perspective, but the smart EV charging layer is not there. That's also strategic to us.
Matteo, that was all from the Innovation Hub South. So before you leave, I only need to wish you very good luck as ambassador of the startups from the Innovation Hub South. Good luck and thanks for joining us today, and see you later. And now time to go far away to the north of Europe and welcome our colleague Peter West from the Innovation Hub North. Peter, welcome.
Thank you, Jezebel.
Peter, before we meet our finalists from Innovation Hub West, tell us, how have you lived this batch 2 of startups in the Innovation Hub?
Well, first of all, this was the first time our region was involved, so we were pretty excited because we didn't know how the startups in this region would react to our program. But we managed to get something like 50 applications from all 10 countries involved with the region, which was one of our goals. And that was actually satisfying. The selection was, of course, mainly based on quality, but we also had an a wish of having a geographical spread, and also from various sectors of the industry, of course. And I think we managed to do that pretty well. Maybe not so much on the geographical side, because 3 of the 5 actually ended up to be Swedish. But Sweden is also one of the biggest countries in our region, so it makes kind of sense as well.
Now, Peter, the moment of the truth. Let's meet our first finalist. Peter, tell us how has been the evolution of Gordian Logistics all over these 6 months.
Gordian, who has developed a logistic optimization software that will help logistic companies, truck owners, save on greenhouse gas emission by optimizing their route planning. The software is already available and being tested. And also Gordian is a KTH-based startup, so they also are on home base in this program. My best guess would be that Gordian will be one of the startups that highlight the mentoring program, and also the chance to pitch, at events like the one we're having here today, as the main gains they have from the EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator program. So overall you can say that we have watched Gordian mature on a lot of parameters over the last 6 months. Yeah.
And now let's see their pitch. Gordian Logistics, your minutes of glory at the EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator pitch awards start now.
My name is Jose Favi. I'm the founder and CEO of Gordian, a deep tech startup that is based on more than 20 years of research into transport analytics and optimization. At Gordian, we make transport planning easy and effective by untangling millions of movement traces. We are facing a number of societal and transport challenges. Technological trends currently disrupt the transport industry, but are also providing opportunities. But to best utilize the opportunities, the entire transport system has to be redesigned, including infrastructure, logistics, and vehicles. Planners and strategists need easy and effective decision support tools to create efficient and sustainable transport futures. But today's planning tools are everything else but that. They only allow simplified, speculative, slow analysis of a few scenarios that are largely suboptimal and lead to bad investments and infrastructures. Our competitive advantage is in how we use transport raw data. Current tools and practices use simple analytics that compress the transport raw data but discard valuable information. Gordian Analytics compress the raw data and preserve all the information. The secret sauce of Gordian is a 50x lossless compression of index raw data. We use this tool to provide AI-powered data-driven tools to enable interactive optimization of transport infrastructure investments and operations. Our prototype for electric road planning shows how a user can find optimized electric road infrastructure plans among the infinitely many possible plans for a set of electrification parameters. The user can flexibly alter such a plan and instantly get the socioeconomic impact of the modifications. The tool utilizes the speed and accuracy of Gordian Analytics to place expensive charging infrastructure on only where many vehicles actually will need charging along their routes. With the tools, users can find plans that can electrify up to 3 times as much transport work with the same infrastructure investments, or can electrify the same transport work with 80% less investments. The savings are megatons in CO2 emissions annually or billions of euros in infrastructure costs. We have a number of other infrastructure planning and logistic use cases. We intend to operate in 3 markets, each of which are growing billion-euro markets. We have validated our use cases with vehicle and charging equipment manufacturers electric grid companies, transport planning authorities, and logistics service providers. Based on the findings, we are currently building POCs and MVPs for a number of SaaS product lines. Our roadmap for the next 18 months has an estimated development cost of 1 million euros. Our team has a combined research and business experience of 45 years, and we are living and breathing mobility analytics and optimization. We are looking for investments and strategic partners to build products that customers need. Please visit our website to learn more about Gordian. Thank you.
So Yoso and Jesper, congrats for the pitch. It seems like your product is like highly complex and has a lot of applications, and you have gone like through many different customer segments. So first of all, I would like to actually ask you, what is the primary target market that you have in order to generate some sort of recurring revenue? Because since you are offering a very broad spectrum of applications in different sectors, I think I would like to learn what was the rationale to actually target the first customer segment, and how has actually been the validation and the revenues generated after this?
Yes. So basically, we are building SaaS products, and currently, we are moving with the customers that already have business cases for us, and we are building minimum viable products for them. These are mostly in logistics, both last mile logistics, but also managed transportation of raw materials for industrial applications. So these will generate SaaS revenues. At the same time, we are forming alliances for larger projects, such as transport electrification. We're working together with Swedish and multinational power companies that are needing this tool to essentially invest in feasible transport futures.
Okay, so one additional question in that regard is, do you actually provide SaaS, but this is an ad hoc SaaS for a specific case studies, right?
Yes, currently we're building our portfolio, and through the POCs and the MVPs, we are sort of generalizing our product offering for the future. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Gordian Logistics, and good luck. Let's meet our next finalist from Innovation Hub North. Peter, tell us, how has been the evolution of Peregrine Technologies all over these 6 months?
Peregrine Mobility that has developed an advanced video analytic system, AI software, and it's a rather mature startup for the program actually, and we also know them from previous contacts. So a startup familiar to us. They were primarily interested in our network of cities, and has during the program gained advantage from both our member cities and some of our industrial partners.
And now let's see their pitch. Peregrine Technologies, your minutes of glory at the EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator Pitch Awards start now.
At Peregrine, we empower teams to build a safer and more sustainable mobility ecosystem for all using the next generation of traffic video analytics. My name is Steffen Heinrich. I'm CEO and co-founder of Peregrine. As cities become more crowded and transportation services grow for both people and goods, our roads have become more congested. Risks in urban mobility are at an all-time high, especially for cyclists and pedestrians. And cities, on the other hand, must find a way to solve urban mobility challenges that do not involve time-consuming manual processes. At Peregrine, we provide a solution to many of the challenges that cities are facing today. Our AI-powered software brings intelligence behind the windshields of fleet vehicles to analyze traffic video data, to first identify risk in mobility infrastructure, understand urban traffic behavior, and create models for future planning. With our background, we know that behavior and environmental impacts become understandable and actionable from visual context data. To collect valuable data, we first equip fleets with our MotoCam. It's a connected plug-and-play device that can be installed in any vehicle. While driving, our AI-powered software analyzes driving video sequences in real time. From this information, we can provide new insights on everything from road conditions highly congested intersections to building a city's digital twin. Since we know how difficult data collection can be today, we designed our technology with a privacy-first mindset. Our software automatically anonymizes all personal information before information is stored or even transferred from the MotoCam. Traffic data and the greater vehicle data ecosystem is extremely valuable to many stakeholders, and this is beyond fleets and cities. McKinsey estimates the global car data value pool to be worth $450 billion in 2030. Peregrine's target channels in this market are worth around $90 million. Combining the best of telematics with the power of visual context in a hardware-agnostic design, Peregrine is uniquely positioned among competition to successfully capture and share a share in this market. Peregrine is also uniquely positioned to create value for all stakeholders in the urban mobility landscape. From fleets to cities to mapping companies, all benefit from this technology. Peregrine works together with industry-leading customers already today in the fields of logistics and insurance, as well as many major cities already in Europe. My co-founders and I started Peregrine 2 years ago. We have grown to a team of 20 highly skilled team members with proven track records in the fields of self-driving, machine learning, and automotive, combining the latest science from the world of academia with our passion to drive technology that can really make a difference. Our next step is to work together with the best customers and partners to achieve Vision Zero. Come join Peregrine in our commitment for zero accidents, zero emissions, and zero barriers. And all this can be achieved with the value gained from AI-powered traffic video analytics. Thanks very much.
Quick question, who's your ideal customer?
So today we work with commercial fleet operators like package delivery companies that transport, especially in Corona times now, many packages to the homes of the people. It's mainly transportation of goods, where we also see a sector that is constantly growing and was also successfully growing in the past 1.5 years. And these vehicles are actually driving everywhere in the latest little corner of the city. We reach domains that even mapping companies don't reach with their vehicles that they send out themselves. For example, Google Maps or Apple Maps have their own vehicles to send them out. And we work together ideally with them to reduce their risk and make their operations more efficient. We even save them insurance costs up to 30% because this is kind of linked to the usage-based insurance sector, where you can see that when you have visual risk and telematics understanding of where the vehicle is, you can then tell the insurer, the risk last year was X, this year it's Y, so they can charge less, which is something that urban mobility operators like.
Thank you, Stefan. So my question is actually leading towards the driverless momentum of most, commercial fleets. So you are actually, helping drivers to drive more safely, and of course to reduce, like fatalities from companies and improving their customer service as well. So how do you actually plan to let's say anticipate towards the new shift and the momentum of driverless companies and technologies? Because of course this is, as the 10th of June 2021, we are still experiencing a high volume, or let's put it the other way around, a very slow adoption of driverless technologies. But in the long run, this is where most of the companies will aim to be. So how do you actually plan to be a key asset in the next generation of driverless vehicles?
It's a very good question. So let me just jump to the beginning. I started working in the field of self-driving cars in 2008 when there was the DARPA Urban Challenge. I worked there in academia. I then joined VW to build software for their self-driving cars. Naya, our technical lead, worked for TomTom self-driving cars and the Bosch team. And Jorrit researched in the domain of computer vision at ETH. We exactly saw the slow adoption that you speak. So we have no adoption tomorrow, and we have no scale up in 3 years, even though I wished that to be the case. I was in this industry for many, many years. It will take some time, but I think Peregrine is the perfect building block in the middle of already bringing perception technologies and the knowledge about what is happening around the car and why are things happening already on the road today. We can gain revenues on that. We can build new services on that. And then obviously we build better models about, to understand the environment, to act in this environment. And I don't think just to self-driving cars. In the future in mobility, we will have more vehicles that are not just cars. It's scooters, it's e-bikes, it's little robots that do last mile delivery. And they all need an understanding of what is actually the scenery and what's going on. And that is exactly what we are building. We are building that understanding brain in the middle. And I think we are well suited to earn money until self-driving is fully there. That's why we changed a little bit our position in the research and product development.
Thank you, Peregrine Technologies, and good luck. So Peter, that was all from the Innovation Hub North. And now we need to move forward with the rest of the contest, but not before wishing you good luck with these startups from the Innovation Hub North. We'll see you later, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you, and fingers crossed for the 2 finalists from Innovation Hub North.
So now we know our 10 competing startups of today. 3 of them will be the winners of this evening's show. We are getting to a decisive moment, but we can't forget that life goes on after this contest for the startups, and that their financial sustainability is a cornerstone for them. This is why at this point I would like to welcome on stage our colleague Pablo Garrido, Venture Finance Specialist for the EIT Urban Mobility. Pablo, welcome.
Hello, Jezebel.
Pablo, we all know that the main goal of a startup is to be financially sustainable. How is the process a startup needs to go through to reach this level?
I believe that business begins with value creation. Companies these days need to create and deliver value in an efficient way that it will generate profit after cost. The global marketplace is undergoing dramatic shifts in purchasing preferences. Steadily, both consumers, corporations, and governmental bodies are putting their purchasing power behind their social values. The simple fact of creating value by producing a commodity product is no longer a pathway to success. In a highly global competitive marketplace, we are witnessing a gradual revolution in European tech mobility ventures, moving from the concept of maximizing profit for shareholders to actually creating value for all stakeholders. In view of the above, companies need to 1. Unlock authenticity and purpose. 2, capitalize on evolving business models. And last but not least, think social and environmental.
And in that sense, how can the business creation by the EIT Urban Mobility can support them?
From business creation, we believe entrepreneurship is key to creating sustainable economic growth and jobs. Part of our work relates to attracting the most promising European venture in the mobility landscape. EIT Urban Mobility is, above all, a network, and our excellence comes from our partners, which are Europe's leading companies, research centers, education institutions, and cities. All of our partners support EIT Urban Mobility scouting activities and maximize our brand outreach, playing a pivotal role in the selection of companies and other stakeholders with the potential to create financial and societal returns. More concretely, business creation can support European tech mobility ventures, unlocking investment and supporting entrepreneurs through 3 main channels. The first one is targeting startups, which are funneled through acceleration programs. EIT Urban Mobility runs 5 regional programs, strategically located in each one of our innovation hubs, being the south in Barcelona, the central in Munich, the east in Prague, the west in Helmond, and the north in Copenhagen. The second program targets scale-ups, which are channeled through the Scale Then Global program. In this program, we support companies in scaling up their businesses in Europe, driving growth and going international. And the third one relates to startup investments. The top performing companies graduated from our acceleration program and Scale Then Global are further evaluated to qualify for equity investments. In such events, EIT Urban Mobility becomes a shareholder in the company,
investing into the company in exchange of equity. Our current portfolio accounts for 14 companies since 2020, and we plan to realize 10 new investments all along 2021, both in companies graduated from our network, but also fostering co-investment opportunities sorted by early-stage investors in the pan-European ecosystem. It's worth noting that the equality between men and women is a core value for EIT Urban Mobility. And because of that, we have firmly supported the adoption of the EIT's gender mainstream policy and its impact in the knowledge triangle. In consequence, the number of companies with at least one woman co-founder or one woman in the team represents to date 13% of the total companies supported by EIT Urban Mobility. To conclude, I would like to emphasize that since 2019, we have supported 83 companies from our programs, with some remarkable achievements to date. We have contributed to the creation of more than 450 jobs. We have invested in more than 25 European countries, and we have attracted more than 25 million of investment in the companies supported by EIT Urban Mobility.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of opportunities for them. So Pablo Garrido, investment manager at the EIT Urban Mobility, I think you have some homework now with the jury. So I leave you now to focus on this very important task. Thanks for being here with us and fingers crossed for the finalists. Carolina, where are you? Tell us, how are things getting in the Czech Republic?
Thank you, Jezabel. I must say that I'm overwhelmed by the great presentation, startup courage and appetite to break through. And there is nothing left besides wishing them good luck while our jury evaluates and decides who the winner is. Meanwhile, I would like to invite Mr. Jaromír Beránek, Head of IT and Smart City Assembly in Prague. Cities play a key role in the concept of living clubs, and for us are valuable partners for conducting the Innovation City Pilot project. Jaromír, welcome, and tell us, what are the key urban mobility challenges Prague is facing right now?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here, and I've prepared a short speech talking about the priorities of the city of Prague, what we have achieved over the last couple of years, and what are our priorities for the upcoming years. At the beginning, let me tell you what are the 4 key domains of innovative focus and specialization for the city of Prague. As you might know, we are doing quite a good job in the areas of artificial intelligence and machine learning. We are also taking up the vibe in the area of space and aerospace research. We are doing great progress in biotechnologies and biomedicine. And last but not least, we are also focusing on creative and cultural industries and research in this area. This altogether shows that the city of Prague is focusing on very innovative technologies with the aim to add maximum added value possible. In the past, we have seen famous factories in the city of Prague focusing on machinery, on building of huge constructions, or possibly also factory manufacturing of hard metals and other technologies that are considered being outdated by 2021. This altogether promises a brighter future alongside with improved education at the level of Prague high schools and universities. And I shall say that we are expecting a great future for the city of Prague, being among the top European cities when it comes to the attractiveness for foreign citizens coming to the city of Prague, or also attracting university scholars or students and also teachers and researchers. Today, we are talking about urban mobility and topics that are aligned with challenges that major cities are facing in the area of transportation. I would also like to briefly talk about the showcases of best practice in the area of our cooperation with research sector, or also with private companies, which over the last few years have been growing steadily, and we expect them to play an important role in the future. Also, I would like to tell you what we can offer to innovative companies and how we work with new ideas, how we bring them on board, how we strive to develop new opportunities in the city of Prague. And finally, I have a few interesting success stories for you I would like to share. So back to the area of the domains of specialization. My personal all-time favorite is artificial intelligence, which we developed jointly with Czech Technical University and the Charles University, both residing in the city of Prague, and also the Academy of Sciences. We have seen great successes in developing new study-focused programs for high school students and also university students. And in the upcoming years, we are striving to focus also on the general public, offering the Czech alternative of the well-known European program Elements of AI, or also collaborating with our industrial partners. In the area of space, as you might know, Prague is the home to the European Space Agency branch for satellite technologies, newly branded EU SPA. And in biotechnologies, Prague has been a heart of European research thanks to the great findings and developments of the team of Professor Holly in the IOCB Institute, who have been working jointly for many decades on great improvements in the area of cures for diseases such as AIDS, HIV, or cancer treatment. And finally, I also mentioned the area of culture and creative industries. Here, I shall say that Prague is playing a strong role in gaming development, and we are also focusing on attracting more and better targeted clients when it comes to expos and long-term sustainable tourism. So we need to make a huge transition originating from, let's say, more historical destination to the city, which can also offer something interesting for the future. Now, what I would tell you about our challenges in the area of mobility. As any European major city, Prague is packed with cars. Quite frankly, the last year, along with the COVID pandemic, has not helped us very much because people are, or have been at least, leaving public transportation for their individual cars. What we need to do is to attract travelers, be it local citizens or visitors from other regions or other countries, to consider using more the public transportation or possibly alternate modes of transfer. How we are helping them? We have several ideas in the pipeline which are being developed. Among others, I would like to pinpoint the Intermodal City Planner, which is a newly developed application which combines all possible means of transportation, and it gives the comfort for the user to use it in just one mobile application and be able to pay for all the components of all their travels simply by using this one app and associating it with one payment tool. What I like best about this application is that you can reserve your preferred mode of transportation in advance, meaning that if you, for example, start your travel behind the borders of Prague and need to commute with your individual car to the nearest park and ride parking lot, you simply reserve a spot. It holds for 15 minutes or even longer, and then you can switch to a train or subway, and finally, in the last step, you can use a shared bicycle, or if you want, of course, pedestrian transport. How we are working with private companies is the key to answer the question of sustainability, because Prague, as any city in Europe, is not rich enough to be able to fund the public transportation on its own. Our biggest challenge over the last year has been income cuts. Really, the pandemic has deteriorated the financial situation of the city, and the outlook for the upcoming years is not much better. So we will have to catch up and probably find some savings to be able to develop new projects such as this one. What I would also like to stress is that we need to reconsider our approach to traditional individual car transportation. It's quite clear that we are seeing the global trend of transition from gas-powered cars to electric cars, or maybe one day in the future also hydrogen-powered cars. We, in the meantime, are focusing heavily on EVs, or if you want, electric vehicles, and we are working very hard to build up the necessary infrastructure. As we see the role of the city in this area, we are focusing on the so-called AC chargers, which allow citizens to park in the proximity of their homes and charge their cars while idle. It's known that most of the cars are inactive or not being used for 95% of the overall time. So this gives us plenty of time and opportunity to charge up for the short or even longer trips that our citizens need to make with their cars. We are also trying to focus on some incentives, but it's not always easy, especially in a situation like this one, for the cities to find new financial resources. However, we are also giving a huge priority to alternate mode of transport, such as bicycle transport. And hopefully, starting from this fall, we will be able to offer specialty tariffs or promotional discounts for users of public transportation with long-term subscriptions. And then we would like to offer them 15 minutes free rides sponsored by the city. Now, let me go back to the question of how we are cooperating with the research sector in the area. We are quite successful in applying for national grants, which are being done in cooperation with Prague universities. I've already named the Czech Technical University and Charles Universities and Charles University, and really I can say that these two institutions are our key counterparts. We have been applying lately for at least 5 projects, but I can name the 2 of the latest ones. One focusing on cooperation in the area of small modular reactor development, thereby helping us to switch from traditional coal economy and coal-powered power plants. And also we are focusing on finding new data sets and new opportunities how to optimize the city public transit, and not just public transit, but all sorts of transit, thanks to a project which is called Transportation 2020 Plus, both of them being mostly funded by the Technological Agency of the Czech Republic. And finally, what we can offer to our innovative companies or innovative ideas. We as a city have a few tools. On the first place, I would name the competition Nakopni Prahu, or in English, if you want, Kick the City of Prague, which sounds a little bit funny, but really the idea of this competition is to enable everyone to develop his or her idea with the aid of experienced mentors and with the funding of the city. The best 3 projects every year get a financial reward and extra help from our experienced project managers to get over the first phase and hopefully develop the project or the idea into a working prototype, and in the final phase into a service or product of its own. We have also quite lately introduced a new mentoring program, Do toho, which means like, go on. And with the help of this program, we are offering everyone, be it an experienced entrepreneur or just a new startupist, to ask older and more experienced peers in a safe environment and tell about his or her failures and expectations, and maybe verify if his or her plans are realistic. For the foreign partners or newly coming expats, we have opened up the Expat Center, which is a big trend all over Europe, but we surprisingly have been only able to open up our Prague Expat Center last year. And last but not least, we are restarting our Podnikatelské a Inovační Centrum, which means a center for entrepreneurs and innovation, where you would also find necessary help and information about living in Prague and all the city services that are needed to raise up your company and start a new successful life. Finally, let me name a few success stories we have seen from the Prague startup scene. We have done lately a huge mapping, but still our key success stories arise from Prague's cooperation with Czech Invest, the National Institute for supporting cooperation with foreign partners, which is also a co-funding partner of the program ESABIC, Business Incubation Center associated with European Space Agency. The task or the main goal of this agency is to bring space development projects on Earth and finding new potential applications in association with the cities. In Prague, we have seen two very successful projects. One of them is Festka, a company which is focusing on building bicycle frames, which are really lightweighted and quite durable. And also we have seen a bunch of companies that are focusing on satellite technologies in the area of agriculture. And I personally believe that this might be a game changer for the upcoming years, optimizing the use of agri-tech all along, not just in the neighborhood of big cities. And finally, let me name one company which is an interesting project in the area of artificial intelligence. It's called Neuron Soundware. It has been also accelerated by one of the Prague accelerators, and now it focuses on sound diagnosis of machinery. And for instance, it has started a successful and fruitful cooperation with companies like Airbus or Deutsche Bahn, meaning German train company. And they are jointly working on predictive maintenance of their machinery, especially escalators or big motors, or maybe big wheels within train sets. All of those projects are a great sign that we in the city of Prague are looking forward, taking up new opportunities, and that we are a friendly city when it comes to testing and piloting new ideas. Me, I'm personally very much looking forward to embracing the driverless cars and testing other new technologies, be it powered by space technologies or artificial intelligence and machine learning. So this is all on my behalf. Let me wish you a pleasant program and hope to see you soon in the city of Prague. Goodbye.
Thank you for those interesting insights. I think you might find some very interesting innovation ideas that can help Prague to tackle these challenges. And since we are in Prague, I would like to invite here my colleague, my friend, Veronika Krásnohorská, Senior Program Manager at PowerHub. Veronika, welcome.
Hello, Carolina. It's great to be here today. It's been almost a year-long journey in our East Hub consortium. Together with Zone Cluster and SpinLab, we accelerated 10 startups. But not only we helped them enhance their knowledge and their contact network, we evolved with them as well.
What kind of evolution are you talking about?
When you ask startups what they expect from the program, the word networking is always in the mix. And in this batch, we did not just connect startups in Hub East with their mentors, city representatives and professionals, but all 5 European hubs worked together and prepared a great program with various networking activities for all 25 startups and connected them with corporates, cities, investors all over Europe.
And could you tell us what are the plans for PowerHub for this upcoming year?
What can I say? To seek for innovation around every corner and find great startups, present them opportunities to meet with cities and test their solution in real time and space, and most of all, to help them become even more successful.
Thanks a lot, Carolina. Our evening is closely coming to an end, and in a few minutes we will know who the winners are. But before, I'd like to call on stage the EIT Urban Mobility's Chief Executive Officer, Maria Tsavakidis. Maria, floor is yours.
Thanks, Jezebel, and congratulations everyone for being on this first edition of the EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator Pitch Awards. Youth startups are key to the EIT Urban Mobility mission. We want to drive real change, and for that, we need innovation that breaks with old patterns and entrepreneurs like you who are driven by a higher purpose and vision for society. And in both areas, of course, startups excel. We see a new generation of founders who are more socially conscious, who are more skeptical of the old ways of doing business, and who are strongly purpose-driven. We're also seeing startups that have a real vision that is written onto their DNA, and at the same time, they are very capable of adapting to changing markets and changing environments. And this has been so important during COVID-19 times, where we have seen a lot of reinvention and a lot of pivoting of small businesses and startups. And this is going to be a critical advantage over the next years, where we will see fundamental changes in mobility. The need to change fast means that we need to find more creative solutions to problems that we have been facing for so many years. But we need to unlock new ways of doing things, new ways of doing business. And if we want to change things, we need to change our perspectives. And there's plenty of evidence that diverse life experiences, gender, cultural background, that all has a big influence on the perspective on problems, and hence also the perspective on what should be the solution. So it's inevitable that we need more diversity in urban mobility leadership, particularly more women, to make mobility more sustainable and more user-friendly, and in the end change society for the better. Unfortunately, while the capital invested in startups keeps increasing steadily, only around 3% of the total capital invested in venture-backed startups in Europe is secured by women. And on the other hand, we see that more than 90% of all capital raised was received by all male founder teams. And on the flip side, research shows that female-led startups are actually more successful. They show a higher return on invested capital and are built in a more sustainable way. So obviously, we have the future balance here. Admittedly, at EIT Urban Mobility, while we're doing very good on gender balance in our own organization, with more than 50% of total staff being women, we also see that there's still a lot to be done to achieve gender balance in our programs and in our equity portfolio. For example, only 1 out of 8 startups that we support in our programs during 2020 had a female CEO. So we need to work on that, and we are actively working on changing this. But there is not the one magic solution. There's various small things that we do, like making sure we have gender balance in our investment committees, making sure that we apply evaluation criteria in a way and questions in a way that they are not tilted towards male patterns, but will take gender differences into account and neutralize any biases. We also expand our network and reach, and we gear our communication towards attracting more women. Fortunately, we have seen 3 women pitch today, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing more in the awards editions to come. Overall, and this of course goes to all of the startups of Batch 2, I'm very happy to see such great progress and development in your businesses, and I'm very proud that EIT Urban Mobility could contribute to this. And to the 10 startups who have pitched and competed today, congratulations again for having been selected. And now I'm very much looking forward to knowing who the winners of this evening are.
So the moment of the truth has come. Which startup earned the most sympathies and points from the jury? We will know first the 5 startups which earned Social Prize Investor Readiness packages donated by EIT Urban Mobility. And who are those lucky and investment most attractive startups?
The IRP goes to ASIMOB, OTIV, BIA POWER, Gordian, and Peregrine, who have been chosen as the most investment-ready companies by the judges. They will receive a ticket to participate in the upcoming EIT Urban Mobility Investment Readiness Program because of their astonishing results. This program, which will take place in November 2021, is worth €5,000 and offers to all participants support and introduction to experienced investors, improve access to finance, how to build and deliver a compelling pitch, how to actually boost social and impact purposes, and how to gather insights into maximizing their business value.
So, huge congratulations to the 5 finalists, and now, the moment of the truth. We will announce top 3 startups of EIT Urban Mobility Accelerator Pitch Awards. May I call again the head of the jury who will take a lead in present the winners?
Hello, everyone. We are proud to announce that the 3rd place goes to BIA POWER. Congratulations.
Thank you, Pablo. Thank you, Pablo, and the whole EIT team. Super glad to be receiving this 3rd award. And yeah, thanks to the whole team. It's been a great experience, and yeah, super happy to have been working with the team. And I hope we can continue working with you and with all the partners from the network. Thanks so much.
This one was a very difficult, and we actually chose the company OTIV. Congratulations.
Yay! Great news. Thanks everybody. I think from our side, we want to definitely thank the team. We couldn't make this possible without our wonderful technical team working on groundbreaking stuff. But also want to thank the organization and the EIT Urban Mobility ecosystem. I think we came in contact this year, so we're in Hub West, but thanks to a lot of international events, we also were able to come in contact with Hub Central, Hub East. So it's great to see that this European ecosystem is really flourishing. So thanks a lot. Looking forward to meet later. Bye.
And the prize winner is ASIMOB. A round of applause for the triumphant.
Well, that is a surprise. Well, I'm very, very happy, and I think I talk on behalf of every team member in ASIMOB. Thank you ever so much. And thanks to the EIT team, but also to the EIT ecosystem, so all the partners taking part and supporting and the startups. This award is important for us because it helps in one of our main challenges, raising awareness that technology can help to road safety, and not only in highways, but in any type of road. Thank you ever so much.
All 3 companies will benefit from 2 startup tickets for the Startup World Cup and Summit. And additionally, we will provide office space in the heart of Europe, Prague, together with ABA's security premium package.
So now it goes here. Congratulations to the winners. Amazing job by everyone. What an amazing evening, Carolina from Czechia and the whole Power Hub team, our partner without whom this event couldn't have been possible. Thanks a lot for all your support in this.
Jezabel, may I tell you that this was a remarkable experience for me, Power Hub, and actually for all who took the part in the organization team. It's always a pleasure to be part of the European innovation community, which works in unity and put all efforts towards ostentatious goals. Thank you, Jezabel, for having me here. I really enjoyed this. And back to you. Bye from Prague.
For your information, we recently closed the application for batch 3 of our Accelerator program, and 25 new startups are joining the EIT Urban Mobility and Business Creation Accelerator program in the next weeks and months. Stay tuned, because in the next months we will open batch 4. And if you're a startup willing to grow in this path, this is something you shouldn't miss. How to be updated? If you haven't done so yet, follow us on our social media channels and don't miss a thing. Thanks to all who has made this evening possible, and bye-bye.